Hi, everyone. This is Heather Lottinen from the Flourish Academy, and our tutorial today is very special because I am sharing a video from inside of the Flourish Academy membership. This is a part of our Lightroom Masters Retouching series, and this video is a favorite because I am actually adding eyeliner and eyelashes as part of my retouching workflow. If you would like to get more information on this course, there are 19 videos. There are 14 adjustment presets included to help you with your retouching in Lightroom, which, by the way, is way more powerful than you might think. Check out the link below. It's Flourish.Academy/Lightroom. And when you go there, I have a couple of those presets available for you for free. So make sure you check it out and let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments. I find it super interesting. This video is going to be really fun because we are going to add eyeliner and improve eyelashes. Add eyelashes? False eyelashes? Eyelash extensions? Quite possibly. We have entered the FA salon. Let's zoom in with a Command or Control plus on the keyboard. I'm going to press K on my keyboard. Let's begin by selecting the eyeliner adjustment brush. And I'd like to make a special note here with the eyeliner and the eyelashes. This is extraordinarily difficult to execute with a mouse. I am using a Wacom tablet, and even then, it just takes a lot of practice. If you've ever experimented with makeup in real life, specifically a liquid eyeliner or false eyelashes, well, you can understand it's difficult in real life and it's difficult virtually as well. I'm going to make this brush really small with my left bracket key. The feather is going to be dependent on how harsh of a line you wish. Allow me to demonstrate. If I take the feather way down and I want to add eyeliner and I go like that, I'm going to have this dark line that doesn't have any transition or blending, and it's just not going to look natural. I'm going to press Delete or backspace on my keyboard in order to remove that. Okay, let's click brush and make sure that we select eyeliner again. And the reason we need to make sure that we select it is because, remember, we have this checked to reset sliders automatically. So those same adjustments will not be there. My brush is really tiny at this point. You can see the size is 0.1. I'm pretty sure that's as small as we can get. And I'm going to just brush under her eye. And I can see that I'm adding some eyeliner. If you see red instead or black on white, you might have your overlay turned on. Remember, pressing O will toggle the overlay visibility. So I've brushed in some eyeliner and I don't think it's quite dark enough for me. So I'm going to pull down on the exposure and down on the blacks just to show you what we can do with this. If I hover too closely, you'll notice that the hand tool pops up. And that's because I can click and drag this and move this somewhere else. But I don't think that's a good idea. So I'm going to move it back into position. And I don't like the way this is looking. So you know what? I got a little sloppy in the center area. So let's press Delete to remove that. Click the brush. Make sure you select eyeliner again. Unless you have reset sliders unchecked. That's a personal preference. It gets on my nerves sometimes either way. I'm going to make this brush a tad bit bigger. I'm going to increase that feather. I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit more so I can really see what I'm doing. This is for sure pixel peeper territory, which I don't normally recommend, but I knew something was going on. So she has some clumps in her mascara that aren't working for me right there specifically. So quickly, I'm going to press Q on the keyboard in order to grab the spot removal tool, and I'm actually going to remove that clump. So let's move this around till I can get rid of that clump. I'm going to pull up on the opacity. And if I turn off the visibility of the spot removal and then back on, do you see that? I just removed that clump of mascara. Okay, K to jump back to the adjustment brush. I'm going to rename this bottom eyeliner and say okay. And then I'm going to click to create a new mask with a brush. And before I even get started, Make sure I select FA eyeliner. It keeps resetting these. I'm going to uncheck this for now. And I'm going to brush over this area. And it's working really well up here because I'm actually just darkening the lash line. I'm going to click the 3 little dots, rename this top eyeliner, and then say, okay, let's zoom back out. First here, turn this off and then on, and then all the way back out. Turn this off and then on. I matched up with the eyeliner she had on the inner corner, but if you decide that either one of these is too dark, too harsh, you can always click them, collapse the panel, drop down on the amount to lessen it a little bit. And I think that's what I'm going to do in the bottom, but I think the top is fine. Next, I'm going to create a new mask with the brush. I'm going to expand the panel and I'm going to select FA eyelashes. This requires the smallest brush possible with a very, very small feather. That is, I don't want these really harsh lines, but I do want them to be pretty distinct. So let's zoom in like crazy at 200%. Now, she obviously has eyelashes. I just want to add a little bit more and I want them to come up a little bit. So you can start clicking and brushing these eyelashes. But what we're going to see here is that this isn't going to work because of the way her eyelashes or the angle of her eyelashes. So this photo doesn't serve us well in terms of adding eyelashes unless you want them to look a little bit ridiculous. So let's go ahead and you can either press delete or backspace in order to delete that mask, or you can click the 3 little dots and say delete mask 1. Let's look at another photo. We'll zoom in with a Command or Control plus K in order to access our adjustment brush. I already have eyelashes selected. The size is pretty small. I'm going to put my feather somewhere in this area. Also, for me to try to create natural lashes, it works best for me. Let me give you an example. I'll just draw a line up here. It works best for me if I start from the top and draw my way down. If I start from the bottom and draw my way up, I sometimes end up with this weird curve at the end, and so that doesn't work. Let me delete that and recreate my mask. She is definitely already wearing false eyelashes. I was there when the makeup artist applied them, but I'd like to fill them in a little bit. So I'm going to just brush and click and drag these down in order to add more lashes in between the ones that are already there. Trying to keep this as natural looking as possible. That one didn't work. Command or Control Z just to undo that last one. And I'm thinking my brush looks a little too dark next to her natural lashes. So what I'm going to do is pull up on the blacks. Let me take that up really far so you can see. They'll start to blend in much better. They look really natural at this point. Look at this. There's the before and there's the after. That's really subtle, but there's no, oh, if we hover, we can see. There we go. There's the lashes that I added. And I don't think there's any way you could have noticed that without me showing you. So let me place a few over here, although this side doesn't need as many in my opinion. Let's zoom out and turn that off and back on. You can't even see it from that distance. Let's try to add a few more. Maybe even get a little bit ridiculous so we can see how far we can take this. So I'm just going to continue to add these brush strokes using the stylus on my Wacom tablet for a more natural motion with these eyelashes. It's working pretty well. In this case, it really depends on the angle, the eye, the lashes that are there, what you're trying to accomplish. Adding a few more to the other eye as well. Thicken and darken them up with these brush strokes. Now, if I turn that off and then back on, Isn't that really miraculous? I think it's really fun. I don't know that it's something you'll use every day nor on every photo, but look at that. Now that we're zoomed out, I turned that off and back on. You can definitely see a difference now. We could click to rename this eyelashes and say, okay. We could create a new mask with the brush. This time we could select eyeliner. We could zoom back in, make our brush a little bit bigger, and just kind of even darken the lash line a little bit more. That's probably too dark. That's okay. Fully adjustable. Pull up on the blacks and up on the exposure just a little bit so it's not so harsh. Maybe collapse the panel and take down the amount. Click the 3 dots to rename top eyeliner and say okay. And if we look at both of these off and then back on, we could zoom out and do the same thing. We can see that we just added a little bit more dimension to her eyes. Again, something fun to experiment with, but I'm not sure how practical this will be in your workflow.